And welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the benefits Kelowna's Good Stuff will have for the city of Kelowna. I'm going to briefly cover a few benefits, each of which could easily be more elaborated on in future videos. But let's just lay down the idea first. In essence, Kelowna's Good Stuff is a marketing distribution channel. It's also a content marketing strategy. Most businesses cannot afford to host their own content marketing strategy, as it would be a respectable investment into their marketing plan. There are many examples of content marketing plans that have widely varying costs associated with it. A newspaper, a magazine, or a TV station is all perfect examples, but there are many other good ones on YouTube that even cost less than that. What Kelowna's Good Stuff aims to do is provide this level of marketing for the city as a whole so we can mimic that of the scale of a Fortune 500 company. But we modulate it down to a size where even the small little businesses can afford to benefit from it. Collectively, we have the resources to help market ourselves on a scale that matches that of a large company. If we consolidate and centralize where we deliver our messages, it would be more efficient at reaching more people. Over time, we will foster a larger organic audience. But we won't be just leaving it to that. We will utilize paid ad strategies to reach the audience we need to speak to. Love it or hate it, but it takes resources to reach people. And if we know who we need to reach, we will invest in that. That's where our digital marketers will come in handy. All the data and experience that we collect goes to ensure that our ad investments are worth every penny. All too often, in any business, no matter what level of marketing experience they have, there's a cost associated with figuring out who that target demographics is and how to reach them best. There's no way around that. You gotta pay to collect that data, and your competitors are not gonna share that information. Kelowna's Good Stuff will shortcut that process because we collect data on our organic followers to which we can make educated guesses on as to how we should set up an online ad campaign. That, and we hold data from all our past marketing campaigns. Systematically, we will be a large marketing entity that any local business can come to maximize their marketing investment. So what are some of the things you might see on Kelowna's Good Stuff? Well, through our work on all our online platforms, we will be like a TV network, kind of like Kelowna's TV station. Different shows will appear appropriately for whatever online platform that would best suit it for. Some content will be better in some places than others, but it's all associated under one brand channel. Our channel will have a number of different TV shows that we can watch. The channel will be Kelowna's Good Stuff. The shows will be the different kinds of content that we create. Some examples of such content will be video business cards, mini documentaries on what makes Kelowna Kelowna, vlog style stories about the things people do here, as well as virtual tours and guides, event coverage, and many more cool ideas that I will get into later. But we're not the news. Castanet and Kelowna Now are better suited for that. In fact, they are part of the network of options available when people need consulting. I hope that I can tell someone that their story will be better told via one of these other media companies and help make that connection for them. I do not see them as competitors, but other local resources to collaborate with. And this brings me to another big benefit Kelowna's Good Stuff will provide. We are here to connect and collaborate with various marketing and media entities here in Kelowna. We share stories, we connect people, and we also create the content ourselves. But let's let the best creator for the job be the one to take on the project. Perhaps someone wants to organize a public event. They can come to Kelowna's Good Stuff and we can help connect them to not only a local event planner, but also to tie in together a marketing strategy to help make the most of that event. We also can look into our affiliated partners to make the event all that much grander. Collaboration and networking is key. The best stories to be told usually combine the resources and skill sets of many different backgrounds. Not everyone can be an expert at everything, and businesses are no different. If they are to be the best at what they do, they need to focus on the niche part of their business. But that means they need help where they fall short on. Kelowna's Good Stuff will make those necessary connections. Through our marketing and storytelling process, we network the needs and assemble a story to bring together a solution to mutually benefit everyone. All this collaboration also creates interesting behind-the-scenes content that people love to see. We will provide through one of our shows the background interactions between businesses and how we create and share our stories. We're aiming for high levels of authenticity. What's more authentic than real people working together to solve real problems? We document that and edit it into a video for others to see. Now this comes in two flavors. One would be the short bits and stories we can quickly share on Instagram, for an example, such as updates and current projects we're working on, while the others are much more articulated and planned out to tell the complete story, one that would resemble that of a documentary. An easy example would be a restaurant that buys its ingredients locally. Normally you don't see this relationship. I mean, you might see the food to table marketing in the restaurant, but you never see the farm itself. The story between these two parties is rarely talked about. Imagine a marketing campaign that tells the story much more effectively. I think A&W is a good example of this. However, they still have to aim for a 30-second time slot on TV. Online, we can create a much more dynamic and interesting story about the synergy between two companies, while pulling that context in with the rest of Kelowna. Kelowna is a city of entrepreneurs. There's lots of great stories about Kelowna's independent businesses that by themselves can't get the marketing exposure that a larger Fortune 500 company has. Maybe a small business by itself may not necessarily need that exposure, but they will benefit by being part of the story that Kelowna's Good Stuff is trying to tell. In marketing, or communications in general, he who speaks the loudest or the longest wins the argument. Now, we're not trying to argue with anyone, but we do have to compete with all the other messages floating around. And if we can become a predominant online voice, then we will all benefit by sharing our stories through this channel. And this is so we can preserve Kelowna's charming economy. I'm sure most would agree, small independently owned and operated businesses are much better for Kelowna than international monopolies. Would you rather see another big box national restaurant come to town? Or would you rather see a one-of-a-kind locally owned restaurant? If a tourist comes to town, they might go to a big national restaurant because of familiarity. Perhaps they have this restaurant in their home city. But why travel to experience familiarity? Why not come travel and experience what Kelowna is creating locally? What if you are local? Why support a megacorp that will take all of its profits and spend it outside of the country? Locally owned businesses hire just as many people as national companies. Locally owned businesses also support other local businesses more because that's where they get their resources from to do their business. International businesses own their own supply chains and minimize using local resources. They ship anything from anywhere to keep the consistency across their brand. This minimizes local benefits. The problem is, these local restaurants don't have that international marketing presence. They rely on people walking through the front doors. Now that works well for many restaurants in ideal locations, but the ones off the beaten path can easily go unnoticed. It's hard to compete against large chain restaurants when they have large marketing strategies, and they are closing down many small businesses or making it really hard for them to compete. I think one of the biggest challenges that the little businesses face when competing with larger companies is the marketing resources available to them. No business exists without marketing. It's the face and personality of any business, and whoever can speak up the most and be more persistent will acquire a larger market share, to which they will reinvest that in to keep their position. Kelowna's Good Stuff will be able to compete with international marketing budgets because collectively, we will become a large local marketing establishment. And this is not just limited to restaurants and the tourism industry. It aims to connect all of Kelowna by telling unique stories about the city. Kelowna will greatly benefit from this going forth into its future if it has any interest in keeping its economy independent from big box monopolies. In the meantime, check out the video on the benefits to local videographers and digital marketers to see how they can help collaborate to promote this awesome city that we all live in. Other than that, have yourself a good one.